I know I ask this at the start of every video, but what are you doing?
I'm trying to get superpowers.
Unfortunately, superpowers are not part of our everyday life.
What's going on YouTube? This is Mason AJ.
And I'm Little Wren.
And today we're talking about an anime which is very unique because it's about superpowers but yet not about superpowers.
Yeah, it's a really good anime. It's called When Everyday Battles Become... Oh no, it's called When Supernatural Battles Become Our Everyday Life. I know I should remember that, but it's a very long title. Don't know how to say it in Japanese. You guys can figure that stuff out. But it's about kids who have superpowers.
Well, okay, so the premise is, not to spoil it for you, is you have these 5 kids, you know, these 4 girls, there's one boy, and one kid is like the main character. His name's Ando. He is my homeboy. I love this guy. He is so awesome. Even though in the anime, he's not that awesome.
Yeah, they call him Chuni, which is kind of like a person who rejects reality to import like their own fantasy life on things. So everything he talks about is very like, oh, the darkness and chaos, and yes, we are going to do this. And he likes like words from like literature and, you know, making up spells and cool names for people. But I mean, he's ultimately a pretty geeky guy.
But you know, ultimately, one could say that he's probably like the anime version of Mason AJ. That's just me, because that's what I do like all the time.
Maybe if you were like 12.
Whatever. Anyway, so we're looking at this main character. He makes a joke because all the other characters are making fun of him. He's like, well, what if we all had superpowers? And they were all looking like, when we don't have superpowers, and they lightning and special effects, whatever.
And they do have superpowers.
Blah, blah, but like all their superpowers are like so unnecessary. They're like you know what? They're like the final boss.
They're game broken.
Yes.
Yeah, they're pretty like you've got the girl who can make anything from anything. You got the person who can stop time, which is totally cheating. Anyone with time powers is totally cheating.
Well, okay, see, if there's like a limitation on it, like...
I mean, there is. All their powers do have limitations, whether it's put on them or if it's something that Ando actually tells them, like, maybe you shouldn't do this.
Right, and you also have another chick who's pretty much the Avatar. She controls the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and light. So I guess, you know, if her and like, I guess Aang and Korra got into a fight, I think she would just win by default. Yeah,
and then you have the chick who's basically Orihime, who can reset anything to the way it used to be.
In its original state.
Yeah.
So like if you were hurt, she would like reset your arm and everything, or reset your body, and you'd be automatically healed.
No fairies or barrettes needed. She just does this on her own.
Like I said, they're all kind of game changing. But my favorite character, Ando, his power is probably the most coolest of all, where he conjures this epic black flame.
It's so cool, meaning it's not hot because it's not a flame.
It actually doesn't do anything.
Purple flicker.
But all it does is make him look cool.
It's very
It makes him look cool.
It doesn't do anything at all. Yeah, it's pretty lame. But I mean, it does look cool.
It does look cool. So, and
because it looks cool, it gets people wanting to take it, even though it really doesn't do anything.
Because sometimes he'll be like, behold, the epic black flame of chaos and death and destruction. And everyone's like, whoa, it's serious. And then
they'd be like, it's not serious.
No.
Yeah. But that's what's really nice about it, is you have the character who has spent actually a lot of time, you find out in this anime, he spent a lot of time kind of anticipating what if they did have powers, and he knows, you know, explains to them kind of what their limitations would be. He explains to them what they should and should not do. Like the person who can reset, he tells her basically like, you know, you shouldn't, I know that it might be what you want to do or try, but you should bring somebody back from the dead. Like, don't do that. And the other person who can create anything, she's like, you should never try to create life, because then that's just a whole bunch of taxes you don't want to do with.
You know what I feel like? I feel like he's that guy who has like common sense, where he's like, you could do this, and I know that I'm an anime character, but maybe you shouldn't, because it just might end up being a bad idea.
It's like common sense if you're living in a fantasy world. Like, how many of you really stop and think like, it's like thinking, if I had $1 million, what would I do? But he's thinking, if I had fire powers, what wouldn't I do? Like, he's already broken down like everything, but he's names all their powers. He's really just like, he is that guy. He's that like maybe D&D playing, like really loves every sort of like class in video games. And now it's reality, so he can like expel all that onto these girls, and they're just kind of like, this is a harem, so we kind of still like him anyway.
And that was like the only thing I didn't like. I actually do watching them get a genuine sense of friendship because they all care about one. And while he is kind of like their goofball and kind of their screw up, they make it very clear he's our screw up. Like no one can mess with Ando but us.
Yeah, so you can tell like there's definitely that, and it's not too. They're not fighting. It's not a fighting harem where everyone's like, he's mine, get away from him, bitch, okay? Like there ain't none of that going on. Like no World Star hip hop going on this. In this
World Star with powers. World Star.
So everybody is kind of like, for the most part, cool with each other. I mean, you do have some conversation later on in the anime about, you know, what their feelings are for him, but it's not the main part of the anime. Realistically, if you were gonna categorize this, it really wouldn't be action or adventure or even really harem. It's really just slice of life.
Right, and because you know what, the whole thing about it is, even though they have superpowers, it never actually really like focuses so much on the superpowers. Unlike other superpower anime, they're not like, not every episode is not some constant battle or some epic doing. It's like they still go about their everyday lives,
right.
which might seem kind of boring, but it's such like, to me personally, it's such a huge refresh. Because while they do get into like scenarios where their powers may or may not save them or have to deal with other people, to watch them go about their everyday lives, I really get, I feel more connected to them than I do like Ichigo Kurosaki. I like Ando. I kind of secretly believe that Ando's superpower is really like his epic narration, because, minor spoiler, there's this one part where like, oh, like this chick goes up and she's like, yeah, I'm here to like make sure you guys are doing good. And he's like, you are really here to make sure we're doing good. You're here to spy on us and take our powers. And she's
like, how did you know? And she also has superpowers. It's not really a spoiler. It's like episode 2.
But so, you know, and things like that happen all throughout the anime. So it's kind of like, well, maybe Ando's more to Ando than meets the eye.
Yeah, and like I said, you kind of figure that out. I've actually finished the whole anime.
Comment down below, let us know what you think about this anime. Suggest other anime you want us to watch and talk about. I have a personal question for all the fans out there. If you had a superpower, what would it be? And I want to see this in the comments, but I will say this. It cannot be like, I have the power to have all powers. No, like if you're more powerful than the main characters in the anime, then you can't do it. Just hands down. So if you pretty much if you existed in this world, what would your one power be?
Yeah.
And you only get one.
What would your power be, Mason?
Epic black flame of chaos and destruction.
Okay, that's not even cool. I would probably have the power to do this.